Hey fam, welcome to Babbling Tat. As always, thank you for being here. It means the absolute world that you're spending this time with me. Today's episode is a little extra special. We're celebrating 3 years of Royalty Design Co., my store, also known as RDC. And honestly, it's wild to even just say that out loud. But this isn't just about hitting an anniversary. This is about what happens when you lean into that quiet pull that's inside you. The one that whispers, keep going, even when life's a mess and you can't see the next step, or you don't want to. And right alongside RDC, there's another piece of this story, the Pinky Promise Project, or P3, my mental health community. These two, they're twins born in the same storm. One's a bold and creative outlet. The other is a lifeline for healing and for hope. Both came from a place of raw and real chaos. And I want to unpack that with you today because I think there's something in it that we can all hold on to. 3 years ago, RDC wasn't some cute side hustle that I dreamed up on a good day. It was a declaration. Life was crumbling. My mental health, uncertainty, the absolute works. And I needed something to anchor me. I've always been creative, and I had had a store before. RDC was going to be a continuation of my merch and customs designs and whatever else my heart just kind of desired. But I declared that I needed something like that back. So I did. Royalty Design Co. became this space where resilience meets creativity, whether it's apparel, accessories, or custom pieces that scream self-expression and empowerment. Every design's got a soul, a story, a reminder that you get to write your own narrative with no apologies or explanations needed. Then there's P3. It started with, a pinky promise over text because, not everyone lives in the same city, the same state. It still counts. I was by far in the deepest, darkest chapter of my life. My girlfriend and I were texting, and I had texted her, "You're not alone. No matter how heavy it gets, we'll get through this together. Every sunrise and every sunset. Pinky promised me." And if I remember right, she didn't text me back for quite a long while, and she said that she can't because she can't break a pinky promise. And that's kind of the whole point, right? And that clicked in my head, and that pinky promise became P3, a symbol, a vow to keep going, to fight, to grow, no matter how high the high or how low the low, that there is always hope. A promise that even when you feel alone, that you're not, that you are meant to be here exactly as you are. P3 is a beacon for anyone navigating mental health, sobriety, recovery, or those unnamed inner battles. It's a community where we stick together, we heal together, and we move forward together. Where RDC is about standing tall and owning your story, P3 is about staying here, staying weird, and knowing that the world is a better place with you here in it. And I will be entirely 1,000% real in saying this. P3 saved my life. That was honestly the intention of it. And it still does every single day to this day. I mean, I'm in it usually head to toe, tattooed on my leg. It is my existence. I live and breathe P3 every single day. And truly, because of P3, 3 years later, I am still here. That text back in 2022 wasn't just words. It became a lifeline. And if I can give that back to even one person, it's everything. And in these 3 years, it is in all 50 states, 8 other countries, over 2 million views on TikTok, over 5,000 of the P3 pledge cards handed out. It is truly more than anything I ever could have imagined. When in the beginning, creating it was so hard because making that choice that I am here and it is a pinky promise and I cannot break it either. Oof. Okay, let's get trains back on the track here. Originally, this episode was supposed to release on Tuesday, March 4th, which is P3's actual anniversary celebration creation date. And this episode has been really, really, really hard for me to record. So thank you for bearing with me. I know we're a couple days late, but better late than never, right? We show up in the mess. We are our best despite our mess. All right, back to it. Looking back, it is wild how these two things came to life together. RDC was like my fire and P3 was my heart. Both prove that you can build something beautiful even when everything around you is falling apart. And that's what I want to dig into today. Not just the celebration, but what it all means for us, you and me, right now. The thing that I learned and the piece that I want you to take with you, creation is survival. Not in some grand, perfect way. RDC and P3 did not start with a 5-year plan or a shiny budget and all of the things. They started with me just showing up. Messy, unsure, trusting that feeling that was on my heart, that spark that is inside me, and that intuition, that gut feeling, and an unseen, stupid little thought that there's hope. But what does that actually look like? How do you tap into that when your life feels like a dumpster fire, a struggle bus lit on fire, just no brakes, full send, just down the side of a cliff? Or even if it's not that disastrous, what about just a Monday slump? For me, it was small, unglamorous moments. A lot of unglamorous moments. But truly the hardest part is just showing up. It's not about a big leap. It is about that tiny spark that you don't let go out. That little light of hope that is somewhere within you. That's the survival part. Listening to what's pulling at you and giving it a little air to breathe. Letting the light grow. So now here's where you come in. I don't want this to be a go chase your dreams pep talk. This can feel like throwing glitter at a brick wall. Instead, I want to get real with it. I want you to pause today, just for a sec, and ask yourself what's pulling at you. That thing that you keep shoving down because it feels impractical, scary, or not the right time. Maybe it's a hobby you've ditched, a conversation you're avoiding, or a wild idea that you've never actually said out loud. Don't judge it. We listen, we don't judge. In this case, just feel it. Listen to yourself and feel it. What if you gave it just 5 minutes? Not to solve it, not to turn it into a business plan, but to let the idea exist. Write it down, doodle it, tell a friend. Or don't. Keep it as yours. But that is where we start. And if you're listening and thinking, well, what if it's dumb? What if it goes nowhere? Trust me, I get it. I have what ifed myself out of so many ideas, thoughts, plans, you name it. I could write novels. All right? I get it. Honestly, when I created RDC, I almost didn't make it because I didn't fully believe and trust that I would even be here to see it turn into something. So you want to talk about thinking that something's going to go nowhere. I essentially created RDC with at least a slight fraction of an idea that I wouldn't even be here to see it become anything. So again, I get it. With P3, I thought it was me just yelling into a void at myself, basically at the sunrises and the sunsets. But those sparks, they grew because I did not allow myself to snuff them out. You don't have to know the ending to begin. The hardest part is, I feel like I say that a lot. There are a lot of hard parts. Let's be real. One of the hardest parts is allowing yourself to give that idea or that dream space to be and to become. Personally, I what if myself out of a lot of thoughts and ideas. What if they're not good enough? This, that, the other. But on the flip side of that, what if they are? What if they are? And what if you are robbing yourself and the rest of the world of that incredible idea that could change or even save somebody's life? You just have to trust that what's in you matters. Maybe it's a song, a story, a random act of kindness, whatever it is, it's yours. And it is enough. Creation is not about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself when nothing else makes sense. Create something out of nothing. It's a hell of a thing to put on your resume. Like, take my friend who started baking during a rough patch in her life. She wasn't trying to open a bakery. She just needed something to do with her hands. Now she's got people begging for cookies and loaves of bread, and she's like, well, I guess this is a thing now. Or me with P3. I didn't plan on a community or growing the one that I already had. I just needed something to believe in. And that's the magic. Tiny steps turn into something that you never saw coming. Something that maybe you could have never even fathomed. And speaking of magic, RDC's anniversary creation date is 2/22. Technically 2/22/22 at 11:11 p.m. which originally wasn't planned. It just kind of worked out that way. So even more so, magic, which I love because this angel number vibe fits. 222 is all about trust, balance, alignment. A little cosmic nudge that you're on your path, even if it's blurry. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about believing the pull in your gut is there for a reason. That thing on your heart is there for a reason. So if you've been waiting for a sign to lean into your thing, maybe this is it. Maybe it's your 222 moment. Before I let you go and wrap up this episode, I want to say thank you. If you've ever shopped RDC, hung out with me iSty on a live, shared P3, or just sent good vibes my way, you are a part of this. And these aren't just my projects, they're ours. None of this would be what it is today without you. And so, hell yeah, we're celebrating properly with a celebration sale. Head on over to tatscorner.com to check out the sale and the new drops. Thank you for riding with me. No matter how high the high or how low the low, through every sunrise and every sunset. Here's to 3 years of RDC, to P3, and to all of us figuring it out together. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. The world is a better place with you here in it. And I'll catch you on the flip side.